screaming Banshee head. Hola amigos, ¿cómo está? Hi, I'm Thak from Thak Ironworks. Welcome to my channel. We're standing outside today next to my Toyota 4Runner. The reason for that is because a few months ago, this was stolen. And about 2 weeks later, it was recovered. It had been used for smuggling and abandoned. Anyway, I got it back. They had tore the roof racks off. I had these cool custom roof racks, which were like safari style. They tore those off to make it more inconspicuous. So part of my insurance claim, I said, this has been at the body shop for over 2 months now. So I just got this thing back yesterday. So I'm pretty excited. Anyway, the one thing that they did was pull off my custom roof racks, and when I got it back, it's like, shit, I gotta now rebuild those. I had bought them before, but I thought I could make those, that'd be something cool. So anyway, I made those, and actually yesterday, coincidentally, they also went off to the finisher. They're gone to get sandblasted, so they're not here for you to see. At the front of this thing, I have a slanted piece of steel, and it just was begging for some sort of embellishment. So hence our project du jour. So let's go into the shop and let me show you what I've got in mind. So I was working out the other day, as I often do, pumping the iron in my basement, and I had the tunes cranked. I was listening to Ted Nugent's Scream Dream, and as I was listening to that song between sets, I just glanced over at the mirror, realized I was wearing my Judas Priest Screaming for Vengeance t-shirt, and it struck me, screaming, I really like that in as something in music, and I really like the whole intensity of the screaming bass in sculpture, and I happen to be quite annoyed at my whole vehicle stealing episode. I was just very annoyed with my vehicle getting stolen, and it was gone for 2 weeks. I got it back, and then I was so happy. Then it was at the body shop for over 2 months. Well, insurance was sorting things out, and there was supply chain issues and all this stuff. So very frustrating, and I was quite angry, and that's a good way to work out, by the way, and I recommend it. But that whole screaming thing kind of hit me, the whole rage of what was going on, my frustration and stuff, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I had like this little screaming head on the front of my roof rack? So one thing led to another, and here I am. So last night, I don't know if you can see this, Eric, I spent a little time with some plasticine, and I came up with this little Banshee head sculpture with a nice intense scream. So that is what I'd like to do out of bronze in the Rapus technique, and let's begin. So we're going to start by hot raising a piece of bronze. So if you're a regular viewer, you might remember my Kurgan helmet from a few months back. This was one of the pieces of the ill-fated starting procedure where I was trying to make it out of 4 pieces instead of the 2 pieces. Anyway, this is a kind of a leftover scrap piece, and I'm going to use this to create a bulge. So let's get this in the forge and hot raise it into shape. All right, so that was pass number 1. I've just annealed it to soften it up, and I'm going to dive in again. At this point, I've just kind of roughed out, blocked out some of the features, and it's got kind of a Munch, the Scream sort of look to it, which I guess we're on the right track. We're evoking Scream-like images. So still a long way to go. By the way, I'm going to be doing the hair separately on this. The hair is going to be coming out quite far, so I've just put this on just to kind of give myself a visual representation of where the hair will be, but I'm making a bald head at this point. Right, I'm past number 4 or 5 or something like that. This is where things start getting very frustrating. I've got, you know, 80% of the landmarks there. It's starting to take shape pretty good, but it's just like, you know, where do I go now? And it's really making those decisions. My advice at this point is to go back to profiles and you want to get the planes. Don't worry about getting the details sharpened in. What you want to do is get all the planes working at the right angles and sitting at the right heights. Not sure if I'm articulating that, but that is key to getting your shape nailed down. The actual final fine line details, that just happens at the very end. And you'll notice I have not even moved to pitch yet. Everything I'm doing is just working, clamping this down, or just working it loosely over some various stakes and trying to get, I want to get most of the shape there before I resort to the pitch, because the pitch is a fairly solid backer. Then I can start pushing against that and getting the symmetry nailed down and the final details. So I'm frustrated at this point. This is a tough one. All right, we're past 6, I don't know, somewhere around there. So that was the first one that I did the pitch. I just knocked the pitch out. I'm gonna anneal it. Starting to get some detail in there now. Face is a little bit caved in again. I've been working this way. So I'm gonna anneal it and then push out some of the areas that get the front teeth moving outwards, a couple things like that, and just get it into position. But it's starting to come along, take shape now. Deviating a little bit from my sculpture, I'm just kind of letting whatever presents itself. I've got kind of a stylized cheekbone there that I'm deciding whether I'm going to go back more like this or if I'm just going to play with that. I kind of like this. This whole sculpture to me is a very Art Deco sort of thing, having that I don't know, dramatic woman hood ornament sort of thing, to me is very 1930s Art Deco. So I'm kind of going with a angular stylized. I just want to play with that and see if that's what I want. Not sure where I'm going to land as my final design on this. Okay, we're about, I don't know, 4 hours into the process here, and I've made some pretty good progress. You can see the detail is really starting to come in. So I think my cameraman wants to go home and take a nap now, and I think I will stick around and do another hour or so and just see where I end up. Maybe 2 hours, and see if I can get sufficient detail for this part. And then next video, well, maybe we'll take a look at this before we leave, and then when the next video we'll do the hair. My issue with most sculpture is that it looks too static, that you get a face, but it's a very static expression, and it's kind of dead and lifeless. So I like intensity and drama in sculpture. I'm fan. Like my favorite sculptor in history would probably be Bernini, Renaissance. Actually, I think he was more Baroque. You know what they say, if it's ain't Baroque, don't fix it. Tough for me. Okay, so about 5 hours start to finish to reach this degree of completion. I don't really want to do any more than that. I think I've captured it. I'm quite happy with the overall look. Deviated from my clay maquette quite a bit, but I just kind of went with the way the shape was leading me. It kind of reminds me of Grace Jones, and she was like an actress and singer in the 80s. She was in Conan the Destroyer. She was also in one of the Roger Moore James Bond movies, but I always liked her. She's kind of terrifying and sexy at the same time. So that's kind of the aspect that we've got here. I'm going to do this as a standalone video. I think the face itself is enough of content to really warrant its own video. So you'll have to come back again for a follow-up video in which I will do the hair. Sorry, Eric, I'm coming in here. So I'm going to do some sculpting and come up with a motif for some wild, crazy hair that will be coming off on this, my Art Deco hood ornament, let's call it that, for lack of a better term. So thanks for watching this one, and I'd love to hear your comments on it. Check us out on Patreon. If you haven't subscribed, you better be subscribing right now. Hit the button, and you'll see you next video. That's it. Back out. See ya!